Hello everybody, it is Badger Wild and we are back with the Space Engineers Tips video. Today I'm going to show you a baseline layout, or at least how you should be visualizing your layout systems for a survival base in Space Engineers, just to maximize your efficiency. This is basically on a small scale, so you'll be able to manipulate this pretty well, and you'll be able to run your systems and run them properly. So let's just hop right in and get right to the video here. So, when you are building Space Engineers, you get to the final boss zone, basically, where you're building your base and you want things to just run efficiently. You don't want things to be running inefficiently. You don't want stupid stuff happening. And this is where you run into problems such as you have your storage areas will start getting backed up with things, and you've got to run through and look at parts and all the stuff. This will actually help you with base expansion. Is this little, I guess we could call it a work routine. I can't remember what the term for this workflow. Workflow. Here's an automated workflow that's very easy for anyone to do. You don't have to know any programming or coding. It's very simple, and I'll show you how to set each system up. So as we start here, we have our first part here in red, and this is where the ore is going to come in at. This is where your mining ship or mining drone is going to come in, drop off the ore, and then we have this conveyor sorter, which is set to pull ores. Now, what it will do is it will pull the ore, sucking it directly out of that ship, out of your miner, drone, whatever. So you don't have to go into your inventory and move this stuff manually or try to just, fast click. That's nice. But being able to just shove it right up here, and then you can have your hoses and everything hooked up later. But what happens is this conveyor sorter will drag all of it. And the way this sorter is set up, and this is how we're going to do this with all of them, is we only need to worry about three main things on these sorters. Number one was our filter. The other thing is it going to be draining? The answer is it will be draining all, and we need to have everything set to whitelist mode. For this particular one, we have ore. All of these will need to be set to whitelist and drain all in order to operate properly. Now, what happens here is we have set this to ore, so that when a ship comes in here and docks, if it is a mining vessel, it'll grab all the ore, suck it out, and shove it into this cargo container, which then also has a filter. Now, what we do here is very interesting. On this one, we are not going to do drain all, because we just need stuff to flow through here. We need this sorter to be a stopgap. Now, if this fills up, if our cargo container over here fills up a bit and it starts pushing through, that's okay. We're going into a refinery here, and we have a way to stop that from getting too bad. But basically, the refinery is going to take that immediately from there. And you see here we have ore. It is whitelisted, and we don't need it on drain all. I accidentally did that before. Don't do that. So our refinery then comes into our next area, which is in yellow. This is where the refinery takes the ore, turns into ingots. Now, if y'all have seen videos in the past, I have a video on this where I prove that ingots actually take up less cargo space by liters than components. This is exemplified amazingly by radio control components. Radio control components take up a massive amount of space in your inventory. Do not weigh that much, but when you break them down to basic ingots, they take up zero space at all. They take up almost a tenth of the space they're normally supposed to. So that's what we're doing the refinery. We're turning all of our ores into ingots, which is going to be the best way to move materials is in ingots. If you are moving it in components, no, don't do that. Just bring an assembler with you. It's much more simpler to do it in that direction. Now, as the refinery pulls through and it makes things into ingots, we run into our second stopgap here. And this stopgap is our second conveyor sorter. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to do drain all. We're going to whitelist. And we are going to select ingots here. And we are going to add that to this. This will cause all the ingots that are made by the refinery to be pulled out immediately and make room for new ingots. This way, then there is a problem with refineries in which, in Space Engineers, it has not been solved. I still run into this issue to this day, where you will have a refinery keep building and building and building until it reaches a point where it kind of, for some reason, glitches out and fills up its entire inventory of ingots, and then it will not process any more ore, and everything just shuts down at that point. You start losing productivity. So this will just keep the productivity flowing. As this makes an ingot, it'll be pulled out and stored into this new cargo container here. So we have another one. Now, as this cargo container has done what it's supposed to, we get over here to our assembler. Now, this is where your workflow system really starts to save time, because this partakes to using a welding ship to build things faster. Because you can build a welding ship, you can throw a whole lot more components in than you can carry. And the welding ship also has the ability to build things as well. I've done a video showing y'all how you can actually set blocks from inside of inside of a welding cockpit. Yeah, you can do that. Now, the next stage of this line, we're going to go right here, and this conveyor is not going to be set to drain all. What we are going to do, though, we are going to whitelist, and we are going to put ingots in here, so that when the assembler decides it wants to grab something, it can easily pull from this cargo container of ingots. And this can be any size cargo container, any section. This is, like I said, this is just a baseline concept of what you could do. It's just the example. This will then pull into our assembler. Now, when you build the advanced assembler has one really cool feature on it. And this is why you're going to want this system to work. We have all our components we can normally build. But over here, we have large block building. Whereas if you want to build a large block on here, let's just go here and say we want to build something massive. Let's do a search real quick. I think this will search. Does this search? Yep. And let's say we want to build another refinery. By clicking this, we have now told the entire system what we need to build this refinery. All the parts are now set in here. So all we need is one guy going out there, setting up positions and equipment that we want to build on base. Then going in there, taking note of everything you've built, going in and adding it to the system. You can add a lot of items to this. Now, as you are doing this, you can do this with the welder. You can do the right click method of doing this and then come back and grab it yourself. But what's going to happen as this begins to build, what we are going to do next, is this conveyor sorter is also going to be set to drain all, whitelist, and we are going to set that to components. And we're going to do this twice. Now, this way, the system here doesn't back up, neither does this system. So both of these are not backing up because the sorters are now preventing it. They're preventing clogs from happening. Now, as we are getting our components going in, and this is where the magic happens. As you go in and set the frames for what you're building, and then you tell this specifically what to build and when to build it, the new cargo container is going to be filling up. And this is where we get to our blue section. And this is where the absolute magic starts. And this is where you're going to have a very well-built welding ship, which we will do in another video, and I will show how to do this. You're going to want to set this one to drain all, whitelist, and components as well. Now, many of you are wondering, why am I doing all this? Because I now have the ability to build the components I need on the fly. I do not need a massive amount of separate cargo containers to hold all of the frickin' components that I need to build something with. This will do it. You can upscale this to create multiple welding platforms on each side with multiple welders and have an individual assembler build something individually. So that individual assembler can build its own individual system. So when you go in there and you put your ship on here, the other thing that's going to be necessary is when you build your welding ship, and you'll know this, we're going to add a sorter to the welding ship so that it also pulls in it. But I'm going to show you how to build a pretty effective welding ship that can get in and out of positions and will still give you enough cargo space to get stuff. It'll be able to pick itself up, go in, weld stuff up, and come right back off. We'll build something like that, as well as building some sort of very easy mining ship that you can build once you reach this level. But yes, this is how this system works, and you can modify this. Mind you, just start putting hoses and tubes in between and conveyors all between this stuff, maximize it. You can have multiple refineries operating. You can actually set these up to run individual types of ore so that one refinery simply handles one thing. And trust me, this is a problem when you get to a level of gameplay where you have several refineries, but you are trying to run and they only want to run one type of ore. You can actually set this up to where it will run one type of ore into the system and have all of that deposited into a single storage area, which then runs into your conveyors, into your green assembly line over here, and then you can have multiple assembly lines running just anything. So if one guy is building a ship, or one guy is building a section, or you have like two or three people running on base, running different things on base, like one guy's improving the power, one guy's improving storage, one guy's doing this, you can have them go in and set those blocks in place, and each one of them can have their own build bay, which goes ahead, shoves the components in there, and as you run, you just run your welder over, weld up what you're doing, come back, lock back in. The components are automatically stored back into your ship, and you can just jump right back off and go right back to whatever you're doing. The only thing that will stop you at this point with this particular setup is the limitations of your welder, meaning at some point in time you will have to stop because the welder will either run out of hydrogen to stay in the air or run out of electrical energy and the batteries will get too low. And you're going to be like, well, frick, we're going to have to stop and wait for this thing to charge back up. Well, anyway, folks, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Liking on the video makes your view count. So remember that if you are getting to this end of the video. And also, we have a membership program, 99 cents a month. You can help out the channel, and you can buy me like a Dr. Pepper or something, which helps fuel this channel. It's fueled by Dr. Pepper right now. So anyway, thank you all for watching. And I am Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.